Welcome to EPG Pathshala. In this module, we will discuss about the ecosystem degradation and restoration. The contents include introduction, definition of ecological restoration, objectives of restoration, time scales in restoration objectives, ecosystem dynamics and restoration, different approaches used for the restoration of ecology, strategies of restoration, natural recovery or passive restoration, active or full restoration, central concerns in ecological restoration, restoration of terrestrial ecosystem, restoration of aquatic ecosystem, ecosystem degradation and restoration, case studies related to restoration ecology in India, and conclusion. Starting with the introduction, the rate of environment and ecological degradation was highest in the past 50 years than any time in the history. Major causes of ecosystem degradation are natural factors including storms, floods and wildfires, etc., biodiversity loss, agricultural practices, faulty land use, pollution that is due to anthropogenic activities and release of pollutants by human activities, etc. Ecological restoration is mandatory for biological community and economic benefits of the people. Historical prospects of ecological restoration. In 1925, Nature's Guide to America was produced by Ecological Society of America in North America. The guide was Victor Shelford. In 1950, Nature Conservancy was established. This conservancy was actively involved in the restoration of American grasslands and the predator species. In 1935, ecological restoration was taken up by Civilian Conservation Corps at Arboretum of University of Wisconsin and Madison. The whole restoration program was carried out under the direction of Edo Leopold. He was a great pioneer in conservation movement. In 1982, Society for Ecological Restoration was established. The main aim of this society was to implement restoration activities on the basis of socio-economic consideration of affected people and ecological principles. In 1998, basically restoration is a management that includes stewardship, preservation and conservation. Coming to the definition of ecological restoration. Ecological restoration is a process that assists in the recovery and management of ecological integrity, that is variability in ecological processes and structures, sustainable cultural practices and biodiversity, or we can say that the process that helps in the recovery of damaged, destroyed or degraded ecosystem is termed as ecological restoration. It was given by Society for Ecological Restoration 2004. Or it can be said that from an ecological point of view, ecological restoration is an activity that reinitiates those ecological processes that were interrupted on the impairment of an ecosystem. From conservation point of view, ecological restoration refers to the recovery of biodiversity from an ecosystem that is facing human mediated extinction crisis. From socio-economic view, ecological restoration refers to the recovery of those ecosystem services from which people are benefited. From cultural point of view, ecological restoration is an approach that strengthens our institutions, communities and interpersonal relationships. What are the objectives of restoration? First is the time scales in restoration objectives. To solve the problem of restoration in dynamic restoration, two groups of objectives they were drafted as: first group focused on short term dynamics, that is ranging from years to decades. only suitable restoration are implemented, which may include recovery of unique species or functional group and improving the functional properties such as soil retention of an ecosystem. Second group of objectives included the recovery of the undisturbed ecosystem state by autogenic succession. Ecosystem dynamics and restoration. Successful trajectories lead to the development of those communities that are dominated by some species that perform well in terms of productivity, resources retention, etc. Knowledge regarding the ecosystem dynamics and ecology of the involved species is crucial for restoration models to implement them in the real world. Approaches that are used for the restoration of ecology. First is reclamation, the process that deals with the minimization of the degradation process and making the severely damaged sites more habitable to living beings is termed as reclamation. Second is rehabilitation. It aims at bringing the damaged ecosystem to a functional one irrespective of its original condition, for example, rehabilitation of forests. Third is revegetation, the initial attempt to restore the structural and functional part of ecosystem using native or non-native plants, mainly commercial plants, is known as revegetation. Example, establishment of grass cover, seeding of shrubs and herbs on degraded sites. Its main objectives are to control soil erosion, to enhance habitat space, to provide habitat for those species that are on the verge of extinction, and fourth is ecological engineering. This approach involves the rebuilding of physical components of an ecosystem based on the designed eco-friendly techniques. For example, installing hydrological devices such as drainage ditches and dams, removal of BOCs from aquifers by pumping and aeration of groundwater, construction of wetlands to deal with the problem of wastewater, etc. Now coming to the different strategies of restoration. First is natural recovery or passive restoration. This approach is appropriate if the basic characteristics of the degraded wetland are retained. For example, cattle removal in wetlands to prevent cattle grazing and to allow the restoration of wetland hydrology, recolonization and regeneration of animals and plants. Second is the population establishment rate is rapid for aquatic ecosystems. Now coming to the active or full restoration. It aims at recreating those conditions of an ecosystem that were present before the disturbance. This process is expensive and time consuming. Challenges in this restoration process are that insufficient information is available about the original system. Some factors that are responsible for damage, they cannot be halted. For example, acid rain. Now, what are the central concerns in ecological restoration? Some basic concerns that are associated with restoration projects are: first is cost and benefits, second is product quality, third is feasibility and authenticity. Coming to the cost and benefits. The restoration cost depends upon the scale of restoration project, objectives of the project and land use options. Coming to the product quality, structure and function are two components a degraded ecosystem that need to be restored. For example, habitat restoration, species or community restoration, quality restoration and ecosystem restoration. Next is the feasibility and authenticity. Restoration feasibility differs for different ecosystems and depends upon the extent of the degradation. Authenticity addresses its aesthetic and historical value. Now, we will discuss about the restoration of terrestrial ecosystem. First is the habitat restoration. A vanished ecosystem was restored by digging ponds and replanting forests. It provided habitat to endangered Bermuda coho. Second is the restoration of Curtis Prairie. Curtis Prairie of University of Wisconsin was restored by planting native grasses and annual plants manually. Next was the restoration of surface mined lands. Planting of Albizia laebac and Albizia procera led to the restoration of mine spoils of Singrauli coal field in Madhya Pradesh. Next was the restoration of longleaf pine forest landscape. Fires were reintroduced and populations of indigenous plants and animals were established for the restoration of longleaf pine forests, which once stretched from North Carolina to Texas, thus covering an area of 60%. Next was the restoration of dry tropical forests. Scientists are trying to restore nearly 700 square kilometer of dry tropical forest to its original state. For example, dry tropical forests in Central America. Restoration of aquatic ecosystem. First is the strategies for lake restoration. It includes neutralization of toxic substances, dredging of sediments, diverting discharge route of industrial wastewater and sewage, regulation of pH, artificial aeration of hypolimnion through air bubbling, raising of water levels in lakes where it has been lowered, restoration of Lake Truman. Previously, oligotrophic Lake Truman was turned into a humic lake due to the addition of wastewater from industries and sewage. Soft bottom sediments were removed by suction dredging. Now coming to the restoration of Chilika Lake. Chilika Lagoon was facing anthropogenic and ecological pressure. It led to the loss of biodiversity, productivity, and also affected the livelihood of local people. Constant inflow of 13 million tons of silt per year was choking the mouth of Chilika Lake. Silted areas was reported to be infested with grasses and weeds. Salinity was restored by dredging an artificial mouth so as to reduce the length of inlet channel by 18 kilometers. Opening of artificial mouth showed an improvement in water exchange and facilitated the free migration of fish. Ecosystem degradation and restoration. The origin of ecosystem degradation. The capacity of organism to alter the ecosystem is termed as ecosystem engineering. The intensity of environmental alteration depends on the period of the activity, the density of population and other factors. Human activities involving the use of large amount of energy permits the environmental alterations on large scale with several major consequences including environmental degradation. Now, what are the thresholds of ecosystem degradation? Degradation is not a linear process and it may proceed in discrete steps that includes thresholds or transition boundaries. Example for terrestrial ecosystem, threshold steps are associated with the loss of vegetation cover. As per classical models of competition, 30 to 40% of vegetation cover must be present so as to avoid those processes that are promoting self-degradation processes. Some steps in the degradation process are not of equal magnitude or importance. There are some steps that can hardly be reversed and thus are called thresholds of irreversibility or transition boundaries. These steps require external energy inputs in the form of restoration techniques. Thresholds of irreversibility may be related to the elimination of particular functional groups or species. Case studies related to restoration ecology in India. Ecological restoration of lantana invaded landscapes in Corbett Tiger Reserve. Babu et al. 2009 have made an attempt to resolve the problem of lantana in Corbett Tiger Reserve by a three-step approach. They had developed the cut root stock method CRS. As the CRS method was not efficient enough, they developed a restoration technique consisting of 4 steps. First step was to identify reference ecosystems in undisturbed areas of parks. Second step was to identify the target conditions and requirements of stakeholders. Third step was to develop field nurseries and introduce selected species sequentially into lantana free areas. And the last step was the most important and involved monitoring and observing certain activities like manual weeding along drainage channels and under perching trees such as Crateva religiosa, Gardenia turgid, etc. Now, what were the results of this type of restoration? After 2 years of restoration program, that is 2005 to 2007 at Corbett Tiger Reserve, the selected plots exhibited the dominance of grassland communities and legumes. Next case study was related to the restoration of Lake Kukurahali in Mysore, India. Eutrophication due to toxic blooms of Microcystis aeruginosa led to the depletion of water quality and an increase in BOD level, mortality of fishes. Also, people living in the surrounding areas of lake, they suffered from cough, fever, etc. Methods for lake restoration started in 2003. Inflow of sewage was blocked. Dumping of waste material including biomedical waste was inhibited. Algal blooms were removed manually. Weeds present at the periphery of the lake were removed. Moreover, engineering techniques were used to clean the lake boundary. Water was aerated by paddling, boating rowing by NCC cadets. Water quality was improved by the inflow of filtered clean water. Saplings of tree like Zambolana, neem, etc. they were planted. Awareness was created among the local people for the protection and conservation of the lake. Next type of restoration was the mangrove restoration, a case study from India. Mangrove forests grow mainly in estuaries and marine shorelines, and their roots expand deep into the coastal sediment, and they prevent unnecessary sedimentation and act as natural barriers to floods and rising sea levels. Mangroves are cleared mainly for agriculture, housing and fuel wood. The integrity of coastal ecology is getting devastated due to the deposition of untreated sewage and industrial wastes. In Andhra Pradesh, mangrove restoration, it has become the primary aim to re-establish the coastal ecology. Villages maintain the growth of mangrove trees by digging canals so as to direct the water current through mangrove forests and thereby contribute to the geography and hydrology restoration of the coastal ecosystem. Land reclamation and restoration of natural ecosystems, a case study from open cast mines of northeastern coal fields of India. Open cast mining in northeastern coal fields of Assam disrupted the ecology of that particular region and gave rise to the problem of land degradation. The northeastern coal field authorities paid attention towards slope stability in those areas where landslides were more prevalent. Only those species were selected for plantations that were having good soil binding properties so as to arrest the soil wash off and soil erosion. To prevent mechanical damage to plants raised in overburden dumping areas, structures in the form of stone barriers, check dams, terraces and bamboo barricades and gully plugging measures were taken to prevent soil erosion and to ensure the stability of slopes. Moreover, the denuded areas were recovered with green mass of vegetation, for example, Lactuca seriola, Misua feria, Dalbergia sisu, Terminalia arjuna, Delonix regia, Tinospora cordifolia, etc. Students, at last I would like to conclude that in a nutshell, ecosystem restoration involves the following, that is the assessment of type, degree, extent and location of degraded ecosystems. Identification of those geographical areas where restoration will prove beneficial to achieve national level biodiversity targets. Local people and relevant stakeholders should be involved. Multiple benefits and potential cost of ecosystem restoration should be assessed at relevant scales. Legal, institutional and policy frameworks, they should be assessed. Thank you.